Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Indigo Reviews. This is my thoughts on video. This is my thoughts on AEW Dynamite from the 28th of October, October 28th, 2020. This will be my thoughts on, so I will give a quick run through of what occurred on the show and then give you my overall thoughts on that. The show opens, Wardlow's in the back with MJF. They're having an interview. MJF says that if Wardlow wins the tournament, then part of the contract that they've got with MJF hiring Wardlow is that he'll get Wardlow's shot at the AEW title at the end of it. Wardlow does look a bit like, do you really? Is that the deal? But anyway, that is it. Sammy Guevara interrupts them, throws his jacket away. He hates that jacket. Sammy doesn't want MJF in the inner circle. Okay, whatever. So we then go to our first match. It's Wardlow against Hangman Page in the World Title Eliminator Tournament. This is the semi-final, the first semi-final, Wardlow against Hangman Page. This was a great match. Wardlow showing off his strength and his power. Hangman Page, the quicker man, the smaller individual, the quicker individual. Plenty of offense in this. Wardlow misses a swanton bomb at one point, showing great athleticism from the big man. You do see that with quite a few of the big men that they've got quite a bit of athleticism. Brian Cage, for example, he's great on the ring ropes. Two back-to-back book lariat shots. Whew, that was a hard one. Book shot lariats. Two of them back-to-back, and Page wins. Page progresses to the final. That's a tremendous match, tremendous win for Hangman Page, and a tremendous opening match. This is how you open a show. SmackDown, take note. We see Moxley. He says the match with Eddie Kingston now is personal. Okay. Don't really care. Second match of the night, it's Eddie Kingston. He's coming out with the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. The family's back together, taking on Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal actually gets in a lot more offense in this match than what I anticipated. I thought this would be a squash match. However, it wasn't. Matt Sydal actually did get quite a bit of offense in. Ultimately, though, Eddie Kingston ends up winning this match with the Bulldog choke. That's John Moxley's finishing maneuver. He ends up using that and choking out Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal taps, so Eddie Kingston wins the match, but Eddie Kingston won't let go, and he ends up calling Matt Sydal John Moxley and telling him, go on Moxley, say I quit. And Matt Sydal says I quit, alluding to the match at Full Gear, it being an I quit match, and Eddie Kingston wants to get John Moxley to say I quit. Okay. Excalibur has a sit-down interview with the Young Bucks and FTR, both teams in separate locations. FTR end up storming out after a bit of back and forth on the mic with opinions and whatnot. This segment doesn't get me any more hyped than I already was for the tag team title match at Full Gear. I'm already hyped for it. This did nothing for me. This was just what it was. The Young Bucks say if they don't win though, they don't win the titles at Full Gear, then they will never challenge for the AEW tag team titles again. Ooh, now that's a juicy subplot line in this little feud match that we're going to have. We get our town hall meeting now. This was really fun. This was a really, really fun match. We get the Inner Circle coming out. They sit down they're at one side. MJF comes out. He's at the other side of the ring. And then we get individuals, wrestlers and whatnot, coming out and asking questions. It's like a political debate that you've seen between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. It's a bit like that. Town hall meeting. This was great fun. Luchasaurus comes out. He's got a question for MJF. Quite political, quite in-depth, knowledgeable question for someone who's so many million years old, but hey ho, whatever. Luchasaurus has got Dr. Britt Baker has a question for Chris Jericho. Quite funny. It looks like Reba has a crush on Chris Jericho. That's quite funny. I don't know why I find that funny, but I did. Peter Avalon comes out. This is even funnier. Peter Avalon has a question. He's like, I'm just going to take my opportunity here. Can I join the Inner Circle? Everyone just bursts out laughing. No. Peter Avalon, you can't join the Inner Circle. Bye-bye. So there's that. And then Eric Bischoff ends up coming out. Eric Bischoff has a three-pronged question for MJF. He asks his questions. MJF, for the best part, does a lot, does very well to answer a lot of these questions that gets thrown at him. Ultimately, it's decided at Full Gear, Chris Jericho will challenge MJF, and the winner of that match, if it's MJF, the winner, he gets to join the Inner Circle. If Chris Jericho wins, then MJF doesn't. Juicy plot lines I like. We see Taz backstage, Team Taz, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, and Taz saying about the times are running out for Will Hobbs. Times are ticking. What's your answer going to be? We want to know. Third match of the night. Finally, our third match of the night. It's Orange Cassidy challenging Cody for the TNT Championship in a lumberjack match. This was a very fun match. The Dark Order and heels on one side of the ring, the big faces also on the other side of the ring. Plenty of altercations occurring with the people from the outside. Great match in the ring, but great outside the ring as well. There's a moment where the best friends catch Orange Cassidy and then hoist him back up into the ring. Great. When the same spot occurs, but it's Cody in that position, the best friends catch him and then what do we do? We're not your best friends, and they just drop him, which is quite funny, showing a bit of dissension between the babyfaces. But yeah, like I said, this was a great match. Ultimately, there's a big brawl that breaks out on ringside. Cody hits a superplex off the top rope with Orange Cassidy onto the big brawl, taking everyone out by the looks of it. Action gets back into the ring. Dark Order try and get involved in the match behind the referee's back. One of them's distracting the ref, while John Silver ends up hitting Orange Cassidy. It doesn't look like Cody sees this, and Cody takes advantage, hitting the crossroads and winning the match. So Cody retains the TNT title, but it's through nefarious means. He didn't see it though, to be fair, so okay. Brawl once again breaks out in the ring, and ultimately the Gun Club, Billy and Austin Gunn, clear the ring, and they're standing tall. Good for them. Nice to see the Gun Club on AEW Dynamite instead of AEW Dark. Yeah. We get Miro and Kip. They attack the best friends backstage. Guessing their feud isn't over because, the best friends broke their arcade machine. It's just an arcade machine. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, actually. It's just an arcade machine. To some people, arcade machines are worth more than gold. So, fourth match of the night. The new NWA Women's Champion, Serena Deeb, defending her women's title here against Layla Hirsch, the Russian female, Layla Hirsch, who put on a great showing here. She was very impressive, Layla Hirsch. Small, diminutive stature, but still very powerful, very strong, very athletic. Serena Deeb ultimately ends up winning the match, which is nice to see. She's only just won the NWA Women's title. It'd be a shame if she dropped it straight away. This was her first title defense, and she won the match. She retained the NWA Women's title. Nice to see this little link up that they seem to have with NWA while NWA is off television right now. Could we get to see Nick Aldis, the NWA Heavyweight Champion, come into AEW? That would be really great to see. I'd really like to see that. Maybe even an NWA Heavyweight title match on Dynamite or an AEW pay-per-view. Who knows? But this relationship between AEW and NWA seems to be working for them for now. Great to see. Hikaru Shida cuts a promo where she wants to face Nyla Rose. If Nyla Rose wants the match, then she's happy to have the match. So they'll have their match at Full Gear. She challenges her to a title match at Full Gear. Hikaru Shida to defend her women's title against Nyla Rose. Ooh, the beast. Fifth match of the night. Sean Spears against VSK. I've only just seen VSK on AEW Dark. That was the first time I've seen him. And now all of a sudden he's got an AEW Dark Dynamite match. Wow, he must have really impressed. Oh wait, no, this was a squash match. C4 from Sean Spears, pins in, wins. The match was over in less than a minute, it seemed. It didn't seem to be any longer than a minute. But yeah, Sean Spears goes and grabs a fan from ringside who was heckling him during the match, the very short match. Someone in a bull costume pulls him into the ring and everything. Tully ends up giving him the thing to load in his glove, and the guy in the bull outfit ends up being Scorpio Sky, who ends up turning the tables and beating down Sean Spears and standing tall at the end. So cool. They've got their match next week. Scorpio Sky against Sean Spears. Interesting. Our sixth and final match of the night then. It's the other World Title Eliminator Tournament match. It's Penta El Zero Miro taking on Kenny Omega. This was a absolutely fantastic match. Early on in the match, it's revealed that Kenny Omega has come down wearing the AAA Mega Championship. That was great. I think they said that he won it from Penta. He either won it from Penta or from Ray Phoenix. I think it was from Penta. That was the only other match that they've had in their history, and obviously Kenny won that. And they put an absolute belter of a match on. When Kenny is doing his entrance, he's got those two sweeper ladies. He's the cleaner now, isn't he? His two cleaners and they're wearing lucha masks, the masks of the Lucha Bros. That was quite interesting. I really do like his new entrance, his new little thing that he's got, a video package going on before his entrance music hits and he comes out. Really great to see. They have a little slap fest, Kenny Omega and Penta. Okay. A lot of people seem to be doing this now. One-upsmanship. I can slap you harder than you can slap me. No, you can't. Blah, blah, blah. It was quite fun when Omega ends up slapping Penta with his own glove. That was quite funny, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, Omega hits a few V triggers during the match. Penta hits a destroyer onto the ramp. Oh, ouch. That looked like it hurt. Penta hits a package power driver, but only gets a 2 count from it. But ultimately, the win comes when Kenny Omega hits his one-winged angel for the win. Great that Kenny Omega has won. Kenny Omega will be taking on Hangman Adam Page at Full Gear pay-per-view, and the winner of that will then earn an AEW World Title shot. Oh, that's going to be an absolute fantastic match. When that occurs, I can't wait for that. And so yeah, that was the match. That was the night. Sorry, AEW Dynamite, 6 matches, one of them very quick. But yeah, I mean, all the matches were actually very enjoyable. It's really hard to pick the first match set the tone for the night. The second match, okay, wasn't as great, but it was still a good match. The third match, the Lumberjack match for the TNT title, was very enjoyable. The women's match, the fourth match, that was great. The NWA women's title match, that was great to see. Just a shame it's only one women's match again. Yeah. The fifth match was a quick match, so I can't really count that because that was a squash match. The sixth match, I've got to give it to the main event. It's got to be Penta El Zero Miro against Kenny Omega. I mean, Kenny Omega is just a phenomenal individual, a phenomenal wrestler. Penta is an absolutely exceptional wrestler as well. And these two, you wouldn't expect any less of them to put on anything short of an absolute fantastic match. So my belt of the night is the Penta against Kenny Omega match, the main event from Dynamite. It was a belter. Check it out if you can. But yeah, so overall, I thought this was a great show. This was a great showing for AEW Dynamite. Great build towards Full Gear. I think they've only got one more one more episode of Dynamite before Full Gear pay-per-view. So there's still time to build on some more feuds. But yeah, this was a great show. My only downside, I'd have to say, is the women. There was only one women's match again. You have a lot of women on your roster, and you're only putting out one women's match, and it was the NWA women's title match. It wasn't even anything to do with your AEW women's title. Yes, she was in a little video package message to Nyla Rose, but so what? Let her do it in the ring. Let her have a squash match. Give her the Sean Spears squash match, and give her Hikaru Shida a squash match, and then after that, issue the challenge to Nyla Rose. Do it that way. But, they didn't. One women's match, hey ho. You can't have everything, I guess. But yeah, ultimately, everything that was on the show was great. It was a great show, this. Those are my thoughts on the show. What are your thoughts on the show? Let me know in the comments. Like this video, hit the subscribe, and yeah, I just want to say a big happy Halloween to all you out there, all my fans out there. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay classy, and enjoy Halloween.